name's David Brooks and I'm at Procurecon Marketing 2014. With me is Paul Frampton, who's the CEO of Havas Media UK. Paul, perhaps you could start by just telling us a bit about yourself and the organisation.
Sure. Okay, so I'm the Chief Exec of Havas Media, which is the main media agency within the Havas Group. My role is to develop the agency, move the agency forward and make sure that, I guess, we have client centricity in the model that we're creating for tomorrow.
Brilliant, thank you. Just to start off, this is covering a lot of the ground that you spoke about in the panel earlier today.
Sure.
How can the procurement function work better with agencies?
Well, I think talking more is a good start. I think I raised the point earlier that often the relationships are once or twice a year, so there's a little bit of hostility there, a little bit of kind of mistrust perhaps because it's only something that gets put on the table when there's a problem or where savings are wanted. So I think actually the opportunity at a conference like this is for me as an agency boss to spend time with the procurement community and not treat them as an enemy, to actually treat them as a kind of partner in the conversation about how we drive value for the marketers we work for. And that's
a lot of your agency's customer-centric strategy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I obviously sat next to WPP this morning. I mean, our vision is that there is space for a new type of agency, one that is more integrated, more digital first, and has client centricity very much at its heart from a media perspective. So does the right job, solves the right problems, as opposed to just kind of plays with a very large kind of billings base and moves value around that. So my belief is big is absolutely not better. Better is better. So we're trying to build better and smarter as a media agency.
Interesting. From a business point, how can businesses get the most value from their agency when they're approaching you?
Well, I think there's a number of levels here. I think honesty and manners. I think the Sainsbury's lady earlier talked about being polite and being fair. That's always a good place to start because any relationship starts with body language and the way a meeting is started. I think if you start on the right foot, then that's always going to help. And then it's an obvious point, but being treated as a partner and as an extension of a team as opposed to a simple supplier that provides widgets. Clearly, when we work in a human capital business, we don't have assets. We just have people. Whether we're media or creative, we just have people. So that talent has to feel motivated to want to work on a client's business to drive that value. So everybody has a responsibility to make that team work together. And we often talk about #OneTeam at the office. And we don't just mean one team internally between client, traders, digital people. We also mean between ourselves and the client. We've done some work recently to align clients' objectives with our own people's objectives at an individual level, so that actually we can really focus on what the client wants as opposed to simply talk about it at a conference and actually then go back to the office and behave like any other media agency.
One of the priorities for procurement and then what they're known for is driving down costs.
It has been known.
Yeah. What are the risks in doing that with working with an agency?
I think the risks are that, and there was a bit of a debate about, okay, do you always put the top talent in our business earlier? I think the risks are that if you drive down costs, then when an agency commercially looks at the clients where there's opportunity to develop and grow, because an agency has to make a margin as well, then you perhaps aren't on the top table. You're not the client where we're all going, okay, shall we put more time onto this? Shall we try and kind of add some additional type of people into the mix to create better thinking? The answer, if it's all about cost being driven down and you don't have a client that has ambition or desire to change, is that doesn't happen. And if you're not at the top table in an agency, then you won't necessarily always get, I guess, the peripheral benefits of working within an agency. You'll get talent working on your business. You might likely get more junior talent. So you won't get access to the top talent because every business has rising stars. Irrespective of what anyone says, the talent pool in any organisation is not consistently strong everywhere. So if an agency kind of feels that they've got an opportunity to do great work and to make money, then they will always put their kind of best people onto those type of clients before they put it onto a client that is only ever interested in the cost per acquisition.
So making sure the account itself remains a valuable account for the agency too.
Exactly, and making sure that everybody takes a collective responsibility for a team delivering. There's a lot of talk about partnership, not supplier. There's a lot of talk about extension of teams, but that requires a certain behaviour. It requires leadership. I quite often with a new client, we will both start the session by going, this is what we're committing to together to work like this, so that their team and our team see it from the start. The behaviour has to come top down. I think if you leave some of your junior people to kind of work on an account where they have nowhere to go, then it's the responsibility of the senior agency management to start the relationship and deal with any problems to allow the team to focus on doing good stuff.
Paul, thanks so much for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Thank you.